Welcome to The Explainer. What we do here is pretty simple. We take interesting source material, books, articles, you name it, and we break it all down for you.
All right, today we're getting into something really provocative. It's a novella that builds an entire world around one single, unflinching rule. And it all boils down to this question you see on the screen. If no one gets a free ride, what exactly is the price?
You see that title? It's not just there to grab your attention. No, this is literally the core principle of the entire story. It's the law of the land, the mantra that shapes every single thing we're about to look at. Okay, so first things first. Let's really get a feel for this world. We need to understand the playground where our narrator, a student named Euftis, is making all his moves. So picture this, we're at Howard University, deep in the computer lab on the graveyard shift. And our narrator, he immediately makes it clear that his official job, well, that's not his real work. He's got a side hustle going on. And to quote him directly, this is where desperate students would barter, pay, and fuck the TAs to do their programs for them. And what's wild is how completely unapologetic he is about it. He knows you're probably thinking, you took advantage of them. And he's like, I sure as hell did. Any other questions? This just smacks you in the face with the reality of this world. These kinds of deals, they're not just accepted, they're just how things are done, period. Okay, so we know the rule of the land, but how does it actually work? Let's break down the central negotiation that really gets the story rolling. This is the deal between our narrator, Euftis, and another student, a woman named Claudia. Euftis sees Claudia. He knows she's totally desperate to get this programming assignment done, and he doesn't waste a second. He just lays it out there crystal clear. This isn't subtext, it's all right there on the surface. And Claudia's reaction, it's just pure shock. It kind of becomes her catchphrase, actually. And it really shows you just how blunt and jarring this whole thing is, even for someone living in this world. And this is where that title, grass, ass, or cash, gets broken down into, well, basically a price list. It's a literal menu of options. The narrator says his work is worth $200, so Claudia can pay in cash. Option 2, she can trade for it by cooking him $200 worth of meals. Or option 3, she can pay with sex. And the story gets incredibly specific here, breaking down different acts as either payment in full or just partial payment.
And just like that, the deal is locked in. And you gotta see, it's not just a one-and-done thing. He frames it as an ongoing arrangement, a guarantee of a good grade, in exchange for, like he says, taking care of me. It's this total mashup of academics, personal life, and sex, all rolled into one.
Now, this whole idea of everything has a price isn't just about these one-on-one deals. Nope. It bleeds out and shapes the entire social world here. It creates this whole ecosystem with its own unspoken rules and, these really complex ways of sharing information.
Okay, and check this out. One of the most fascinating parts of this social system is something called the BDR. That's the Bad Dick Report. It's basically this informal but super powerful word-of-mouth network where women warn each other about guys who are, well, sexually unsatisfactory. It's like its own form of social currency and a really serious way the community polices itself.
And there's a whole process to it, like a kind of social court that moves fast. First, you have the initial report. A woman has a bad experience, she tells someone. Then you need corroboration. Another woman has to confirm the report. Once that's done, it spreads like wildfire. And the consequence is severe. That guy's reputation is basically toast. According to the story, a BDR never expires.
But the story doesn't just paint this as some unified front. It gets into the messy stuff, the tensions within the community itself. And a big one it tackles head-on is colorism. You see it in this really raw and kind of shocking quote from a character named Rory, who just goes off on another student.
Now, this is a really crucial point. The author does something very specific here. He gives you that character's raw, unfiltered, and obviously biased tirade, but then he steps back. As the narrator, he adds this layer of social context, pointing out that, yeah, colorism was a huge deal on campus back in the late 80s. He separates the character's voice from the narrator's analysis. So, to kind of explain the sexual politics of this world, the narrator throws out this absolutely wild number,
He claims that when you factor in the gay population, the female-to-male ratio at Howard was 21 to 1. 21 to 1? And from his point of view, that massive imbalance created a world where, and I'm quoting, if a female wanted some straight dick, she had to share. In his mind, it made men having multiple partners not just normal, but basically a mathematical certainty. Okay, for our last section, let's zoom out a bit. Let's talk about the author's own stated goals and the very specific literary style he's using to tell this story. You know, you don't even have to guess. The About the Author section right in the book tells you what's up. It says he's known for raw, unfiltered storytelling, and it positions him right in the middle of erotica and urban fiction. So this style, it's 100% on purpose. Yeah, look at these words from the book's own description. Raw, bold, unapologetically direct, street-lit edge. This is all code. It's telling you that the novella isn't just a random story, it's a piece of a specific genre. The style is the substance, in a way. And this really gets to the core of what the author is trying to do. This whole unfiltered thing, it's a very deliberate choice. The whole point is to challenge you, the reader, by showing you a reality that is completely unvarnished, totally raw, and yeah, designed to be provocative. So, that leaves us with a big question, right? When you read a story that refuses to pretty things up, that gives you the unfiltered version, what truths does it make you look at? What does it force you to see about power, about how we negotiate our relationships, about intimacy? Whether you're comfortable with it or not, that's kind of the point.